What about that then, the Reds? How are we on this Monday morning on your Talking Reds? It's me, Dan Morgan, with Paul Cope. After Liverpool emphatically, dramatically, late on, won the Merseyside derby yesterday with Divock Origi's 157th minute winner at the Cop End. And Copey, how are you feeling?
I don't think you can describe things like that in normal words, can you? Like I don't think I've ever. All I know, I was saying this immediately after the game. I've never laughed so much at the end of a football match. It's the funniest thing that's ever happened in my life. Is that too much?
No, well, I said this. I kind of said this midweek in that when we were building up to the game, I said that it got to a certain point now where with Everton that it's just funny.
It's ridiculous.
Like there's a certain point after about 10 years ago where everything that happened to them, where it come to us, I just laughed at. And yesterday, I mean, I got to laugh in the end after I'd sailed about 20 rows down the Cop and ended up on I don't know whose back and whose head and everything else, and nearly ended up on the pitch. But I mean, after it, there's just no way to quantify just how Everton the whole thing is, and we'll get into it a little bit in a minute about just, you know, how well Liverpool do to plug away and get the goal in the end, but just there's no better way to go and win one, is there?
We were saying in the pub afterwards, if you drew your dream derby win, you wouldn't even be able to dream one that good. Like I said, I got the free kick, I sit next to Jacko at the match, who you might know off different shows, and we said to each other, I'd absolutely love a spawny winner, like in off someone's arse. And after we'd scored that goal, I was like, that is absolutely ridiculous. It's a ridiculous. Imagine conceding that goal to lose a derby to us. And it's so Everton and Liverpool that it can only be funny.
It was so funny. I mean, the one game it reminded me of when I've had to think about it this morning is, I remember we go to United in 05-06 and we get done in the 90th minute by a Rio Ferdinand header. And I remember coming out of Old Trafford that day and thinking, I'd rather we just got beat 4-0 there. Yeah. Because it was kind of I think last second winners in a way, can just put you in your place. And we've had to, you know, being in Arnold City this week, as we do every year at Derby Week, we have to put up with the whole thing of the tide's turning, it's our time, the blue moon's rising, the Liver buildings have got a tint of royal blue on them, and you know, and we should all accept that the blue power is here.
The blue power.
The blue power has arrived.
Why will they never?
In the city of Liverpool.
What I don't get is why don't you ever learn? All you Evertonians watching this, I don't get it. If I was, and I know there's loads of Evertonians we know who through the show and stuff, and they'd be going mad about the ones who start getting all cocky before the game. I don't understand why anyone does it. Just keep your heads down, start playing well. You've got a good team now. You're going to win a derby sooner or later, maybe. Who knows? Or maybe you'll just keep losing to last minute winners.
The bad thing is we do keep our heads down, most of us.
Well, this is the funny thing. I never talk about it before and now. No. And when I saw the Liver building thing, I was like, oh my God. And then, you've probably all already heard about this, but from where I sit in the match, I'm in the upper main stand, so I can see everything, see the whole pitch. And so we saw the blue flare being thrown on the pitch. And I'm guessing that the lads around the lad whoever threw the blue flare, what a dickhead. You're throwing a blue flare as the ball is up in the air. It's still going towards the goal. There's still a chance that it ends with a goal, and you're throwing a blue flare to celebrate a 0-0 draw at Anfield. Fucking hell, lads. There must have been lads by him going, fucking hell, mate. Like, fucking hell, and then we were saying, it's brilliant, isn't it? With the thing with the flare it doesn't just go away. So there was this period then where we're all going mad, and there's this dead lonely blue flare just sitting on the middle of the pitch, like, and you're all looking at it like, can we have it back?
It's absolutely wonderful. Just in terms of the game itself, who was you impressed with from a Liverpool point of view? Did you think stood out?
I didn't think it was. The mad thing is, we've done the second look, and we were saying during the match, I think if it was a normal game, if it wasn't Everton and the emotion, you'd probably been like, oh, this is all right, this is a decent performance. But I didn't. Again, it was one of those games where I think we were a bit open, more so than we have been recently, and I don't think they were and I need to watch it back to see this, because people were saying that Fabinho was great, people were saying Mane was great. For me, there were no sort of performances where they were, well, apart from the keeper, who I think was great, there were lots of performances where there were parts of them that were good. Fabinho did some good stuff, Mane did some good stuff, but I don't think there was a complete performance in there from what I can remember. Like, Mane's a good example of this. He was more influential than the rest of the front three, than Firmino or Salah, but his end product wasn't good enough for me, and he should be scoring goals there. And I don't know, were you impressed by someone? What was your view on Fabinho?
I think that both him and Wijnaldum got caught in a bit of a two-mind type of scenario in the first half, where I think the instruction was for them to both go and cover the full-backs so they could go, but because Guy and Gomez were getting so much of the ball, I think they were kind of both in two minds of trying to be a little bit more central and sitting and occupying them. But to be fair, I think both of them figured it out a lot more second half, and they got us moving left and right, shifting them left and right. I thought Mane was excellent, to be fair. I thought his industry, but also, you know, I think his temperament's really good in games like this. I think he's one of those who he never ever loses his head, you know, and I've seen there was a couple of times I thought for us where we maybe could have got at Richarlison, Yerry Mina, a little bit niggly with them and got them to lose their heads a little bit, because that was a possibility during the game. But I thought Mane was excellent. I thought the goalkeeper, agree with you, was fantastic. In terms of, even watching it back before, even, you know, in terms of injury time, he gets us on the offensive with the free kick. He gets Trent moving down the line, but also when there's a bit of a kick-off down the Annie Road end, he just gets everyone away, as if to say, we've got a game to go and win here. And that's what you want from a player like that. I thought he was immense. So for me, I think the game management in general in the last 20 was really good when you watch it back. But, you know, we can say that we did look tired, I thought, and that's got to be a PSG factor, hasn't it? Yeah, that's the thing. It's easy to forget, isn't it? Because people talk about, oh, a great game to bounce back to, blah, blah, blah. You've just been away to Paris Saint-Germain. That's a big game to come off the back of for a derby, and especially when we talked about this on the second look on the preview shows that we've done, that the front three are playing every game, basically, and they're going to be running out of steam, and that needs to be managed. There's a couple of lads in there in the midfield, a couple of lads who you can see they're struggling a little bit, and I think we do need to start seeing a bit more rotation and a bit, specifically the likes of Firmino needs a bit of a breather. And yeah, I think the shape's not helping him, and I think that he's another one who maybe is probably getting a certain instruction, but when the game's happening around him and things are evolving around him and he's seeing things that he wants to improve or he wants to change himself, he might be going against what he's being told. But I agree with you that he looks a little bit lost in that three. But at the same time, you know, he's another player. I think I've kind of got this thing where I think there's a count for everyone who went the World Cup having a lot more in the legs, but I think certain players it just holds more than others. So I think, for example, if you look at Vertonghen yesterday for Spurs, he looks absolutely goosed. He looks out on his feet at the minute, and I think Firmino's the same. And I think there's probably a pocket of players around the league who are just feeling it a little bit more than others, where others can just carry on and go through. Yeah,
I think you've got to take into account as well the season before.
Yeah,
like what was in their legs already before they got to the summer, and then there's summer on top of that, and they haven't had the proper break and all the rest of it. So, yeah, there's loads of that. But at the end of the day, it's funny like doing the proper sort of analysis of the games, because with games like this, I just even with the second look, I just wanted to keep saying to Robbo, should we talk about Pickford not being able to catch again? Should we talk about him not being big enough to get that ball? And I've watched that. Do you know when you watch it, I keep seeing different angles of it. I'm like, oh, I saw one before and I was like, oh my God, it was actually going to drop onto the net. And you've literally kept it onto the bar. That's insane.
Well, as well as not being able to catch or use his arms, does no one teach him how to use his right foot? Oh. Like, he literally trains every day. Does no one ever train him on how to use his weaker foot?
Have you seen the video doing the rounds where someone's like, I don't know whether it was David Weir on Sky, it's like, yeah, he's good at kicking now. And then they show like footage of like the slice out for a corner in the first 5 minutes, and then the right footed straight out for a throw, and you're like, not that good at kicking, are you, mate?
That was glorious. It was almost harder to do, to slice it behind you and put it out for a corner. A couple of special mentions I want to give from the social media fallout. Danny Mills, first and foremost. Danny Mills, of all people, one of the worst, snidest tacklers in Premier League history, who's probably committed numerous assaults going through any 90s Premier League season, was of the opinion that Jurgen Klopp should have been arrested for entering the field of play yesterday. What do you think of that one?
I just think honestly, the best thing you can do with people like Danny, this is like, I remember when I was a kid, I used to wind up my big sister, I've got a big sister, and my mum used to say to her, just ignore him, because if you ignore him, he'll go away. And I remember my sister once, I was winding up and she ignored me, and I thought, nah, I'll have another go. So I had another go, and she still ignored me, and I immediately just went, nah, fuck it, that's the end of that. And I think with the likes of Danny Mills, and this applies for loads of people in the media, the best thing you can do is just ignore them and they'll go away, because he's saying stuff like that because he knows it'll get a reaction because he's a prick. It's as simple as that.
Talking of pricks, another of my my favourite Evertonians, Mr. Joe Anderson, Mayor Joe Anderson, I should say, who decided to take umbrage to the influx of economy in the city of Liverpool that I will just hasten to add again, he is the mayor of. And
yeah, but he's an Evertonian. People aren't getting this. He's an Evertonian first and the mayor second.
Well, obviously, yeah, that's got to take precedence over the job of being mayor of this city. You know, who will bang on about austerity enough times, but simultaneously try and ribbon fans from coming out of this city and bring an economy to it. So well in, Joe. That's a really, really good look for us, that, mate. Thanks again for all the hard work you're doing. And obviously, you know, if you do have that much of an issue, tell the police about it. I'm sure they're still looking at the Ross Barkley thing as well for you. So best of luck with that. All right, then we'll wrap it up here. We want to give you a couple of insights of what's coming out today. So Kopi's mentioned there's a second look and preview video to come out. There's the main show, the Anfield wrap. There's the review which myself, Neil and Sean Rogers are going to do shortly. And there's all still your reaction stuff from last night as well. So the Anfield wrap is the place for all your post-match reaction. It's the place for all your Christmas needs in terms of Liverpool FC and for the rest of the season. So if you want to get involved with us, £5 a month, theanfieldwrap.com/subscribe. Go on this journey with us, because Liverpool Football Club right now, it's buzzing. Walk around this city centre today, you'll just see loads of Reds who you can get on board with. Get on board with us, the Anfield Wrap. All the best. See you later.